All right, so I'm an app guy. I love my iPhone. I've loved it for a decade, and I love making apps, and I love using apps. And in this episode of the vlog, I'm going to talk about my 4 favorite apps that have changed my life and 4 things that we as leaders can learn from these mobile apps. So I love my iPhone. I don't know about you, but it is glued to my hip or to my hand at all times. It has changed my life. It has actually changed my life in a number of ways. I started creating mobile apps about 10 years ago, shortly after getting my first iPhone and Apple opening up the App Store. I created an app for my church, Trinity Baptist Church in San Antonio, Texas, and that app did very well. I actually got in the newspaper for creating that app, and it actually started a number of consulting opportunities for me. And so from that time, I've gotten to be a part of a lot of different apps and had a lot of fun. Had apps like that app that was only downloaded by a few hundred people, but had a lot of engagement and use for that unique community. And then also worked with an app called Splice. Splice was recently acquired by GoPro, and got to work with an app that was then helping and had millions of daily active users within the app. And so it has been fun to get to work with apps for many years. And I think there's some real key takeaways that we can learn from some of those core apps that we're using. So if you're using an app for your organization, thinking about creating an app, or just want to learn from some of these app companies, I think there's some key takeaways. So in this episode, I'm going to share my 4 favorite apps, and then I'm going to talk about what we can learn. So let me talk about the first app that I love and has changed my life, and that is Google Maps. Google Maps. I get lost everywhere, anywhere I go, anytime. This has been from when I was very young. When I turned 16, I first got a car. I got lost so many times and had a hard time. This is when I had to have a little paper map in my glove box to get around. I've always hated maps as well and had a hard time reading maps until Google Maps. Google Maps has changed my life. I just basically punch in, here's where I am, or it actually knows where I am. Here's where I'm going. Tell me how to get there, and it will tell me I should take a bus, I should take the subway, I should take an Uber, I should walk, and it will piece together multiple ways. So getting around New York City, when we moved here 4 years ago, I felt so lost. Once I really started using Google Maps all the time, now it's like I hardly go anywhere. Even if I know where I'm going, I check Google Maps because it will tell me the fastest way to get there. Even if I think, I know the best way to get there, Google Maps is going to tell me potentially a better way. I love Google Maps. So that is the #1 app that has changed my life. The second mobile app that has changed my life is Chase. Chase Bank. I love, not because of the bank itself, but although I guess it's great, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but it is their mobile app that has changed my life. I hated going to the bank. I hated even going to the ATM to deposit checks. I love the mobile app to be able to deposit a check and just use my camera to take a picture and then deposit those checks into my bank account, to be able to transfer money, to be able to monitor my spending, to be able to do all of that within a mobile app. I love it, and it has changed my life. It seems like a small thing, and it's a minor annoyance, I suppose, but having my banking right there and so accessible, and honestly so secure in the way that they have used the mobile app and the security functions within the mobile app, I love the Chase app. The third app that has changed my life is probably the app that I use the most, and that's Amazon. Amazon. I think we've all used Amazon in one way or another, but some of us more than others. I bet I do 95% of all purchases, period, on Amazon. If I need a new pair of jeans, I go to Amazon. I need batteries, I go to Amazon. I need toilet paper, I go to Amazon. I don't go to Amazon on my computer, I go to Amazon on my mobile phone because it's so easy, and I'll just type in what I need and it pulls it up and it will give me a few of the best options of that thing, and then I pick and choose, and it's to me in 2 days. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's convenient. It works. When I have a problem, I just submit a request to send it back or whatever it is the need right in the mobile app. Their mobile app has changed my life, and I love it. Thank you, Amazon. Now, the last app I believe might be the most transformational from a technology perspective, and so many other apps are emulating how they're doing the app, and that app is Uber. Uber. I mean, so moving to New York City, we don't have a car, so there's a lot of different ways that we get around. I've had to take a taxi a couple of times. I say I had to, I just chose to. And now I choose to not as much as possible because Uber is so much better. Uber is cheaper, Uber is faster, Uber is cleaner. Now there's so many layers to Uber as you think about basically how do they decide that if I'm going to get from here to there, who's going to be the best person to pick me up? What's the best path to take? How do I pay them? How do they make sure that I'm safe in the midst of all of that? It's complicated, and you know what? They used this device to solve that problem and make my life better, changed my life. Thank you, Uber. Now, let's look at what can we learn from these apps. So if you're creating a mobile app, chances are you probably aren't going to have a development team of 1,000 developers, and you can't do everything that Uber does or Google Maps does. But there are some things that we can learn when it comes to mobile technology and mobile apps that make sense for our organizations when it comes to creating a great mobile app. The first thing that an app needs to do in order to be an effective mobile app is that it needs to solve a problem. Now, just because you can create a mobile app doesn't mean you need to create a mobile app. Now, for most organizations, a mobile website is everything you need, and then some. There's a ton you can now do with a mobile website that doesn't necessitate a mobile app. Mobile apps can be expensive, they can be complicated. Maybe you don't need one, but there's a good chance that maybe you do. And if you do, that app needs to solve a problem. And so Uber, the problem was how did we move people? The taxi service was the problem, of kind of this poor solution. People don't want to pay cash to the taxi or even the credit cards, or they don't know how much it costs in advance. They don't know how to get one. Calling it is annoying. There are a lot of problems in that process that Uber solved. There are a lot of problems in how I get around and the physical map that I use to get around, or even using MapQuest is what I used to use, and I used to print that out. Well, now I want to do that on my mobile app. I've got a computer in my pocket, and I don't want to have to print things out, and maybe even my directions change. Well, the mobile app can adjust to that and solve the problem that I need because I'm lost. I need to find a new place to go. So the first thing that a mobile app should do is it should solve a problem. Now, the second thing that every good mobile app does, and this is maybe one of the more technical sides of it, but it uses native functionality. It uses native functionality. So what are some things on your phone that only your phone can do, or even maybe a mobile website couldn't do? So looking at the Chase app, for instance, that you deposit checks. Well, it's using the native functionality of the camera. And so you look at the camera, and the camera is able to take a picture of the check, and it's able to then process it. That scanning functionality is key. It uses the thumbprint or the face scanner for me to log into my account to confirm that it's me. It's using those security functionalities to make sure it's optimizing the native functions of the phone. Google is checking with Google Maps where I'm located. So it's using the function of the geolocation services within the native functionality of the phone. So a good mobile app is using the native functionality of that device to accomplish the goals of the application. And so you want to make sure that if you're creating a mobile app, that you maximize that native functionality of each device, and your mobile device in particular, because there's so much great hardware to utilize, that your software should be maximizing that native functionality. So make sure your mobile app is maximizing the native functionality of the device. The third thing that every great mobile app does is it adds convenience. This device has added so much convenience to our lives, and the mobile apps that we use within these devices are part of where the convenience comes from. And so when you think about the banking, I don't have to go to the bank anymore. I go to the bank on my phone. I don't have to go to the store anymore. I go to Amazon on my phone. That's adding convenience, and then they're shipping it to me. With Uber, I'll just tell it where I am and where I want to go, and somebody comes and picks me up. That's massive convenience. So when it comes to your app, what convenience are you adding? How can you add even greater convenience to somebody's life through your application? Because all great apps are adding convenience. And then the fourth and the final thing that every great mobile app does is it constantly is improving. It is constantly improving. And so this is a key for any organization and anything that's working well, but especially in this world of mobile technology, is they're constantly improving. You have to get app updates because the developers are continuing to better the app. I remember when I downloaded all of these apps, is the Chase app in particular, about 5 years ago. It's a totally different app than it was 5 years ago. It was cool. It changed my life 5 years ago, but it's even better now because they're constantly improving. Because as the hardware is improving, the software is also needing to improve, and the opportunities are improving, the ideas are developing. So wherever your mobile app is today, make it better tomorrow and make it even better a week from now and 2 weeks from now. Look at ways that you can constantly improve. How can you add more convenience? How can you make it a better product using the native functionalities of that device? Let's get better together. Thanks for watching this episode of the vlog. If you would, share this vlog with a friend who might be interested in mobile technology, and subscribe to this vlog for all the latest and greatest when it comes to social media and new technology. Thanks for watching.